Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Antique and Garden Showcase. I'm Mark, and glad to have you back. Today I'm out here in the garage, and I'm looking at a favorite tool that I use in the garden, and I'm going to talk to you today a little bit about the new Amazon business page that I have up on my website. So, the new Amazon business page, when you go to www.antiqueandgardenshowcase.com, you're going to see a menu page on the left-hand side. And on that page, you're going to click on products that I use. That products that I use will take you to a new page. And on there, I have a list of a ton of things that I like for the garden. And the great thing about that is I've looked for things that are in the best price range that I can find on Amazon and made those available for you to click through on. And the great thing about this is if you click through on the products I use page, a portion of the proceeds do go back to Antique and Garden Showcase, which helps me in turn continue to provide for this channel and do the things that I've been doing here, which is kind of a win-win for both. So you get to see great products and I get to benefit from a little bit of kickback from Amazon for those things. Now today, the first product that I want to talk about that I did put on the page was something that I discovered this year, and it's a product that I don't know how I lived without until I found it. I actually saw it in a retail store here in my town, and I saw it last year. I didn't get it. I went back to get it this year. It had doubled in price on the shelf there, and I thought, it's just too high. I'm not going to buy that there. Got to milling around and found it for the cheaper price on Amazon, and that is the Fiskars Weeder. And you think, well, what in the world is this thing for? Well, as you can see, it's got a very long blade to it. It's kind of like a trowel almost, but it's got a serrated side on here. And it's probably about 8 inches, I would say, 6 to 8 inches deep. This is really good for those weeds that just tend to be a huge problem in the garden. Say, for instance, like in our area in 6B here in Kentucky, the driveway island out there this spring had tons of onions, wild onions growing in it. And you know, if you go out there and you just rip the tops off those things, what happens? You know, another week later, boom, here they come back again, you've got more onions. If you do not get that bulb out of the ground, you're out of luck because you just keep having the same problem over and over. With this, I can thinly go down into the ground. You can see it gets really thin here at the bottom, right next to where that bulb is. I can actually turn this and go around that bulb and just kind of give it a little one of these nudges like that, pull, and it will pop right out of there. It's also good if you live in an area like I do. We have, I've talked about it many times, an overabundance of squirrels. And the squirrels, what they do is they have a tendency to bury the tree nuts all around the yard. So hickory and walnut and whatever else. And I'm sitting here, there's something weird going on at the house. So sorry, I'm a little bit distracted. I think we had a small power outage there for a minute, but it didn't affect the camera. Anyway, they plant those hickory nuts and walnuts in the fall throughout the yard, in the gardens, everywhere. So in the spring, the next thing you see are these little trees popping up about this tall. Same thing as wild onions. If you pop those off, you keep doing it, you can't get it out of the ground. You've tried every which way in the world to get it out of there. And the next thing you know, you've got a little trunk, you know, stuck down in the ground about, you know, half an inch in diameter. And this tree just keeps coming up and becomes a nuisance. This works well for that too. Pop that down in the ground, get the tree nut out, the source, and you're rid of the problem. So that's why I love this too. These are products that I actually use. So it's not like it's something I've just put on there to make money. These are things that I found that work well for me, and they may work well for you as well. So if you see something you like, click through. It helps me, and hey, you get a great product like this. I can actually vouch for this. Love this thing. I had a chance last night to finally plant the sunflower hillside as well too. And I've been putting that off because we had this heat wave around here, and I think you've heard me talk about it, you know, the 110 heat index, which was horrible outside. I mean, the humidity was just stifling. But we've finally gotten over that, and last night we had a break in the humidity. Today's temperature, we woke up to the 50s this morning. The day's high is only going to be mid 70s to upper 70s. So I thought perfect time to get more plants in the ground. And as I turn around here, last night I planted these over here. When I got up this morning, I was shocked how well these are going to do. So let me flip the camera and I'm going to show you just how well the sunflowers have shaped up this morning. When I first stepped outside this morning, I noticed that the sunflowers I planted last night had really taken off. I had put these in pots and under grow lights, and I told you the reason why I did that earlier was to keep the birds and things from disturbing the seeds around here. As you can hear probably on the microphone, there are always birds in the background. If you have anything that's a seed in the ground, they will find it and you will have very sporadic things coming up. So that's why I did these in grow pots to begin with. And the strange thing was, I was watching Garden Answer this morning and I noticed that Laura said that her smaller variety sunflowers came up about 2 inches and then decided to burn. I had the same problem. I've grown teddy bear sunflowers for many years around here and have had wonderful results. This year they came up in the pots, they grew to about 2 inches and then they started looking funny, and then it's just like she said, they burned almost, and then they just withered up and died, and that was it. So my smaller varieties didn't make it, but my larger varieties look fantastic. So I just went ahead and I filled it full in here, and honestly right now I can't even tell you but where one thing is at. I put mammoth sunflowers against the back so I could stake those against the fence. I know that's what's there. The rest of them are mixed. There are plum, there are autumn sunsets, there are lemon limes, there are lemon reds. They're just mixed throughout, so whatever will be, will be. I just had to come in here and get it done last night, and sometimes that makes the greatest, area. So this is Sunflower Hill this year. Called it the Hillside Garden before. This little pot of flowers right here is doing great. This is the one that I picked up, and just everything in this pot was from the clearance rack at Lowe's. I think it was Candyland. These were a sun-loving caladium that they had there, and then these were some random proven winners verbena that were on the clearance rack that looked pretty rough there for a while, but they look great now, so my benefit there. Anyway, here's Sunflower Hill and a little update on it today. Many of you have been following my hardscape project that I've been doing around here. I've been repairing the back walkway. Now, this brick walkway is probably 18 to 20 years old. When it was put in with wood edging on the side, which I don't know why it was done that way. It was not a good idea, because that is not going to be heavy enough to support all the weight of this brick behind it, and especially when you're on a hillside like this. So I'm coming in here, I'm taking all the wood edging out. As you can see around here, I've removed all the wood edging down under the deck this far. In the new area, I'm pouring a colored concrete edge that's thicker. It's reinforced with rebar that's drilled down into the ground and concreted in even below that, so it gives more of a support, so this is not bending, it's not doing all that weird stuff that it was doing before. So I have managed to get down this far. There's my cutoff point right now. I'm going to get ready and put in new forms down through here, but this is looking so much better. It feels so much more stable to walk on down through here in the kitchen garden now. This has been a huge improvement. This is going to change though. As you can see, this has been a strawberry bed here. It's kind of weedy right now, and we've got some dill is growing in here, and this patch has just not done too well in the past here. It needs to move. It's had its time. I think we're going to take maybe half of this bed out and put a seating area in right here, because it is in a shadier area. Nothing grows well back here anyway, so I may put a little bit of a platform in there, put some nice garden benches and things in there, place to sit while we're out here, which would be really great, and do some changes there. Strawberry beds are actually going to go in down on this lower portion. There are things kind of propped up everywhere here. Sorry, it's a mess right now. We've got trellises here getting ready to go up for cucumbers. But I've got this big expanse of a hillside right here that does have, some flattened out areas, and I'm going to put those raised beds in there. Today I'm going to take the rest of those potatoes out, and then I'm going to get some more vine crops going down there, maybe some squash, some winter squash, something like that. But try to keep the garden going as much as possible. Many of you know that I have a Facebook page. The Facebook page is the @antique and garden showcase. Well, actually, it's the and symbol on there. And symbol? It's either the and symbol or and. I can't remember. I'll put it on the screen. Garden showcase @antique and garden showcase. And on that page, I put a lot of things down, like updates on what's blooming, like the brick walkway in the back, what I'm doing. And I've been talking a lot about daylilies on there, so I thought I'd just take you on a quick little run through of some daylilies here in the front this morning. As you can see, there are a few daylilies starting to bloom here. Just a few. Some really pretty brick reds. They're starting to just come out this morning. It is early. Strawberry candies, my Melindas are right here. This is a my Melinda. I think this little purple one was called Pandora's Box. I'm not sure what this one was. This was an ever blooming variety. The yellow is more of a trumpet style bloom on a daylily stem. This was called Mr. Lincoln. It's been around here for quite a while. I've got several Mr. Lincolns in the yard, but I've divided these, given some away. They're great ones. This one, have no idea. This is one that I found at an old homestead on our former farm that I dug up and brought home. Now the colors kind of repeat as we're going up through here. There's one that hasn't bloomed yet called Jungle Beauty, which is almost a black purple, and I'm waiting on it to come out. But just really pretty blooms. Lots and lots of daylilies. These are just the ones in the front yard. I have more in the backyard as well. And I just have to turn around here. This is one of my favorite areas so far in the yard this year. Those mini Vista Star Super Petunias, they're just showstoppers. Everybody takes a look at them. They're like, what are those and how have they filled in that great? Yep, wonderful, wonderful plant. And also the Suncredible Saturn Sunflower is doing really well here at the front entrance. So I wanted to give you a little update on it as well. It's filling in really pretty, getting some really pretty blooms on there too. Kind of fills in that space really nice. Around behind the lower garden room, I have some more daylilies. These are some of the longer stem varieties, and I keep them back here because they kind of rise up above the windows. You can see them from inside, and it looks really pretty. And they get this morning sun shining through on this side over here. This is one I've tried to keep for many years. Its name is Stargazer. It's not a Stargazer lily. That's just the name that was given to it. But I love the color combination. The purple with the red stripe, or purple with the yellow stripe in it looks really nice. I've had this one for a long time. It's an old one in the garden. I put a picture up of Thin Man. Thin Man is getting ready to have another bloom. These blooms are huge. I mean, you can tell just by the bloom pod how big these are. I'll put a picture of this one up on the screen so those of you who aren't on Facebook can actually see it as well. Had a random Mr. Lincoln come up in here. And this is a Carolina Cranberry, which is another old one that I've had in the garden for a long time. And I've also featured it on my Facebook page as well this week. But Carolina Cranberry, it came from an old garden center that we used to have over in a neighboring town. And I've kept it going, but it's, as you can tell, a really long stem variety. I mean, that stem is a good almost 3 feet tall. Well, the fence is 3 feet tall, so there you go. That's how tall the bloom is as well. Really pretty color. As always, I want to thank you for watching Antique and Garden Showcase. It's great to have you here. And be sure to check out the new page I have on the website on products I use and see if there's something in there that you can use for yourself as well. Like I said, all those tools on there are things that I do currently use in the garden and things that I've found success with. So I hope that you do as well if you try those. Again, thanks for watching and hope to see you here again on the next one. I post videos on Wednesday and Saturday mornings and look forward to seeing you here. Thanks again for watching. Have a great week. Bye.